If you ever wondered how to make drum and bass like KANINE, well, today I'm going to be showing you how. Welcome back to Inverse Audio. As always, my name is 5X, and today I'm bringing you an updated tutorial of how to make drum and bass like KANINE. I feel like his music has evolved a lot over the past year, and he's one of my favourite artists, so I just have to break his new sound down. If you've enjoyed the video, then please leave it a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, leave a comment with what you want to see on the channel next, and without any further ado, let's get right in this video.
I need your love.
Alright, so today we're starting in a blank project again. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be attempting to make something like Release Me. I think that's one of KANINE's best songs to date. I absolutely love that song, and so does Denver, actually. Yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like his style's really changed over the past year, and it's really come into maturity. He's one of the GOATs. I absolutely love him. So let's hope I can do his sound some justice with this tutorial. First, I think I'm going to get started with a chord progression and a vocal, and then we're going to then go into the drop, and then, well, let's just see where this takes us. And as always for today's tutorial, I'm going to be getting my vocals from Vocalify. If you haven't heard of it, it is a vocal marketplace where you can purchase royalty-free acapellas for your music. Some of them get really cheap, as low as $30. If you want 10% off your purchase, then use code INVERSEAUDIO10. Now, I've gone ahead and already found a vocal, so let's quickly get it in the door. So yeah, once we've downloaded the vocal, there's a few options I can use. There's the unprocessed, there's the wet, and then the dry. I think I'm going to go for the dry. I'm going to pick, there's obviously a lot of stuff that you get with these, including the lyrics. You really want to, you know, learn your song off by heart. Right, just to not overcomplicate things, I'm going to go with the two main vocals. Now, I believe they're 140 BPM, so I'm going to have to speed them up. But this is what they sound like currently.
Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Say you won't let go. I need your love, come set me free. I need your love.
So yeah, pretty catchy. It will do the job. So yeah, I've just added on my sends, which on here I have Valhalla Supermassive and a Fruity Limiter, and that's just side chaining in the vocal. So when the vocal's playing, the reverb actually ducks down in volume.
Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Say you.
If you want to see how I actually go into detail and mix my vocals, recently just uploaded a tutorial on that, so go check that out. Yeah, I've got a small play on the small vocal reverb send, and then I have a delay which is set to ping pong. But that's where I'm going to leave it with the vocal, to be honest. Right, so I guess let's start writing some chords. Probably pick a cool pad, and we'll start with that because KANINE does like to use some nice atmospheric pads. So I think I'll just start with a generic serum, just the initialized patch.
Love, come set me free. 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 I need you.
So as you can see, you can probably tell by the light, but it's now the next day. Basically, my recording software cut out halfway through, but I'll show you what I've done. It's just the intro, really. But the first thing is I finished off those chords I started writing earlier, and they sound something like this. And once again, those are just on a simple... They're using simple sawtooth waves with the LFO controlling the cutoff at 1 to, well, a half rate. And then the only thing that I've done to sort of change it is I've automated the cutoff here so that as it plays, it opens up, and then I've added a nice reverb on there as well, Valhalla Vintage. The next thing that I decided to do was add in these intro plucks, and for that I'm using this preset that I really like, and it's an Opal by Universal Audio, and it's called Circuit Break, and the only change I've done to it is move the cutoff all the way down. And this is the MIDI. It's very simple. It's just going off the root notes and then 2 notes in between. And for the effects, I've added a motion dimension, which is like a really cool reverb / delay. As you can see this moving. That changes the parameters here, like the delay and the reverb, etc. And on top of that, I've added yet another reverb. So taking out the lows, put a soothe on it, and then just a wider. So nothing crazy, but just stacking the layers. I then just added an atmosphere from our sample pack. So if you want 10% off, use code YouTube10. We've recently just knocked down the price a whole bunch as well. So go check it out if you haven't already. I just EQ'd out the highs and the lows and made it wide. But yeah, it sounds really dreamy. And when you put those three together. And then the last thing that I did was added in this intro bass, which is once again quite simple. It's just 2 sawtooth waves, cut off set to around 425 on the MG Low 12 filter. No effects or anything. I did put a slight bit of saturation on here. And then I'm using Flex Chorus to make it wide. This is without. And this is with. It just makes it stop clashing with the vocal, really. But this is what we have so far.
Wanna lose control, wanna feel it all. Never felt like this before. Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Say you won't let go. I need your love, come set me free. I need your love, come dance with me.
So yeah, I'm thinking I might add one more element, and that's going to be a lead sort of thing. So I'm just going to grab 16 voices and then change this to a super saw on the global here, and that just changes the distance between the voices. So you can get it a bit wider without it sounding too like detuned and off. And I'm going to put a big portamento on here. We put on just a massive vintage verb on this.
Lose control, wanna feel it all. Never felt like this before. Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Wanna lose control, come say that love is so. That true love will break your heart. I'm not afraid, even if I fall. I need you now. Wanna lose.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I just got it pasted here. Sort of trimmed that end bit there and then organize it, of course.
Dance with me, how can't you see? You're my one and only ecstasy. I need your love, come set me free.
Oh yeah, also added in this reverbed hi-hat. And then I think from here is going to be the build-up and then drop at 32 bars. So yeah, let's get started working on that. Right, so I've just gone ahead and chosen a simple kick that I did actually do before the recording cut out. But yeah, this is a new one that I'm working on for the next sample pack. Nothing crazy, it's just a pretty solid kick overall. Got a nice high-end transient at the start right here. And then yeah, it's got a nice tone to it as well. And then the snare from the most recent sample pack. And I think now we're going to go with some hi-hats. So I'm thinking one that goes every half beat as usual. The shift here, I think if I just do it by one step, that'll sound a lot better. The reason why I do that is to make them a bit more human-like and not so robotic. And we'll have one going every beat. And then one every 2 beats, just for some variation. And then probably a top loop on top of it. Let me just turn these down. So yeah, just a really simple loop here, nothing crazy. Gonna copy it over and get started with the basses. Cool. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do is copy the original bass line that I had that's following the chord progression, and I'm going to put it on the sampler channel. So then that way I can see the ghost notes as I'm making the other basses, just to give me a bit of direction. I think we'll go down here, C, up to C. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave a space for like a womp sort of thing, because K9 does that quite a lot. And then we'll do the same here, except here we're going to go up to the F. And then just to quickly design this, I think definitely going to want it to slide between the notes. So I'm going to extend the ones that I want to slide. Give it its own mixer channel. So probably nothing too crazy. I might just go for something like this. Remove the bottom harmonic, give this one lots of voices, set it to super saw. And then we're going to be adding like a harmonic sort of bass that slides on top of it. So I'm just going to carve some space out using the filter for the lows that go in there. I'm going to distort it a bit. Multi-band compression. And once again, just dial in those highs. Actually, yeah, that sounds a lot better if I turn up the octave and do +7 semitones. Yeah, you can sort of hear where that extra harmonic is going to come in now, but I'm going to tone this one down. And yeah, once again, take out that bottom harmonic because we're going to have a sub in place anyway. It's going to sound like with a bit of FM maybe. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. So now we'll go ahead and add the sub. So for this one, I'm just going to use a sine wave and then just turn up the attack so we get rid of the click. And then we're just going to copy over the MIDI and assign it to its mixer track. Okay, so that sounds really good. So now what I'm going to do is try and create that sort of high-end wobbling bass that K9 has in Release Me, for example. It's the sort of vibes we're going for this. So let's set it to its own mixer channel. First of all, I'm going to copy the MIDI over and then make sure it slides as well. And I'm going to try a few things. I'm not sure what's going to work exactly, but maybe we're going to go for this basic MIDI wave, which is like a rounded saw. And then I might try harmonic series and see where that gets me. Put a cough on it. And then I'm obviously going to automate this so it's not just one single rate. And yeah, add some chorus to it. Right, with this one, you're just going to have to trust the process. So I'm going to clone that and then change the shapes about, do the +7. Cool, that's the 2 layers, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add a third one that will be like really wide and almost serve as like the extra noisy, well, it's going to be very noisy wavetables, so I'm just going to go and find something random. Just go for some monster waves, are always good for this. Cool, so we've got the 3 sounds. This is like the main one with the harmonic. Then we've got the sort of body tone of the... and then the harmonics. So to mix these in, I'm going to start with the ones that would be easiest first. So this high end, and we're going to cut out all the lows completely. Best to mix them when all of them are playing together, especially if you're doing EQing. Make it quite wide. So this one's going to more focus on like the sort of high and mids. So we're going to add the disperser, maybe distort it a bit using a riff. Play about some different wavetables. Just select 2 random ones. And where's my riff gone? There it is. Oh, and then this last one, this one we're going to use for the main harmonic, which is this bit right here. So I think a rift would be perfect, obviously. Let's go through some presets, Mike, find something cool. Oh, they sound pretty cool together. Now I just need to level them. Now to glue them all together, I'm going to use an OTT and just turn down the depth. Maybe give them a bit of saturation as well. And then EQ it. Cool, and then if we turn on the other basses, I'm going to EQ this bass as well. Then probably the last thing is to add a reverb onto this bass. So for that, I'm going to use flex verb. So turn down the threshold. Basically what I'm going to do is when the reverb's playing, what you can do in this plugin is when the sound is playing, duck the volume of the reverb, and then as soon as it passes the threshold, the reverb's going to be turned up. And then I think the last thing to do is to automate this macro. I'm going to create an automation clip, which is down here. I'm going to double click on this. And if I alt click the serums in one by one and click plus, move the macro for the other ones, it's going to affect them as well. So you just, instead of having to do 3 automations, you can do 1. So now quickly, I'm just going to organize these. And now that I've organized it, I'm going to split them into the individual patterns and play them with the drums and see how it sounds. And what I'm going to do here is using this macro, I can now control how much of the sound actually how fast the cutoff and how fast the sound is going to go, the rate of it. So I'm just going to sit here for a minute and try and figure out a cool pattern that works. It might take me a while, but we'll get there. Right, I mean, I think that's pretty decent for this pattern. So I'll go ahead and play it and then show you some of the changes I made to the mix, etc. Yeah, it doesn't fit in the best with the vocal, but that's fine because we're going to chop it up and we're going to move that section anyway because it starts a bit early for my liking. But yeah, now for the next bass, what I'm going to do is add a hit. So I'm going to start off on the D here, like so. Maybe I could do like a, if you use the 7th note in the scale going into the 1st at the end of the bar, it works really well, like so. So that's cool. Now, it's a bit easier if you're ever struggling with sound design. This is a tip I give out all the time. Is if you're struggling with sound design and like not sure what to have, try and think of a bass or even an idea. Put the MIDI notes in, and then around that, it's immediately a lot easier to design a bass rather than just, you know, going in and on serum and then testing it out midway. It gives you a bit more of a sense of direction, right? So I'm going to start off with, I think, a sine wave, and then going with a monster wavetable. I'm going to pitch this one up, filter on both of them. I'm going to go in for some FM as well, I think. I'm going to automate this LFO. Yeah, it sounded pretty nice already. And add it to the level, of course. Distort it a lot, and then maybe we'll try a different one. Well, I think we're actually going to layer this. So let's get it to a group. That's going to be like the main layer, and then what I had on number 5, I think, was pretty cool. Monster 5. So I'm going to copy that over. Maybe even try another filter on here, something like a, I don't know, maybe a flanger phaser. Try both. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this one, yeah, immediately get rid of that low end issue. And then same thing with this one, gonna get rid of the low end. And then just glue them together with like an OTT. Another EQ just to make sure we're really getting rid of those lows. And then lastly, I'm just gonna maybe add in a bit of rift. And then one last trick I'm gonna pull out of the book is frequency shifter, which is an FL Stock plugin. Right, and then I'm gonna automate that to only play at the end of a bar. So for example, where are we? So that this one is on, but this one isn't. So it like gives it a cool, almost like flanging effect sort of thing. That sounds really cool, actually. Actually, we need to add in the sub for that note as well. And then the only thing I think is actually missing is the like grease bass doing something cool over here. Well, so I've just added some more notes. I think this would be quite cool for maybe like the second 16. But with this, I think we can probably just return to the original melody.
Wanna lose control, wanna feel, wanna lose control, wanna feel, wanna lose control, wanna feel. Never felt like this before.
So we're going to move that back 16 so it doesn't come until this section here. The vocal, that is.
You're my one and only ecstasy.
So if I just grab this section.
You're my one and only ecstasy.
The next thing that I'm going to do is slide all of these basses in. So we're going to go and create an automation clip for this pitch bend here, which is down here. I'm going to move this to the top because it'll be affecting all the basses. And then I'm going to add almost every bass into this, including the sub. And now if I pitch bend some of these in, it should sound a bit more K9-y, I guess. Yeah, there we go. A lot more K9-y now. Of course, we're going to have to go down here. It's only right. And I think this will be fine. We can just copy this over. Cool. So, I mean, this is what we have so far. I've figured out the pitch bend and I've done a bit of adjusting to the macro here again that controls the rate. So I'm just going to play what we have. Obviously, there's no build up yet, but
Ecstasy.
cool. So to get this next bass in there. So yeah, once again, I'm just going to put this bass into place, and then design a sound around it. So it's an A sharp. And that's how long it needs to be. And then for the second section, oh, now it's time to design this bass. To be honest, I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to start twisting putting different parameters on it until something works, essentially. Thinking maybe like a phasey sort of, but over the bar. Then we do this. Maybe try a different wavetable. Right, Right, I'm going to try and put the frequency shifter on this one, see if this fixes it. Okay, it's getting that sort of movement that I want now. Well, I think we'll just keep it on this one. It's not the... Okay, there we go. Sounded a bit better now. Make it stereo. And then the last thing I'm going to do is maybe just add one more layer to this with like a bit more high end. Try and fill it out a bit. Maybe I'll go for the acid wavetable. Okay, I think that about does it. Then just glue these two together with some distortion and OTT and then an EQ. Right, and then the last thing I've got to tweak is this space. And then same thing here. Goes up to the F, back down to the A. And then the next thing, I'm going to have this last 16 with the vocals in there. So I'm not going to copy over this sort of harmonic bass. I'm just going to go in with the Reese's and the drums, of course. Maybe I'm going to chill them out a bit by removing the top loop.
I'm reaching for your light. It's in your eyes. Don't need to hide. Don't be so high. You can't come down. I need you now. Wanna lose control.
So cool. I think the only last thing to do in this drop is to add an EQ so we can cut out the low end during sort of transition sections, and that's pretty much it. That's the drop done. So I'm thinking like over here, maybe we can sort of move it like this.
You're my one and only ecstasy. You're my one and only You're my one and only ecstasy.
All right, and just because I'm in love with adding too many layers to everything, I'm going to add in a layer for this Reese as well. Yeah, riff, just distort it, OTT to glue it, and then of course remove the lows once again. And then because I've added this extra layer and I feel like this is going to be lost a bit in the actual track, I'm going to send a dry copy, or just I'm going to remove the volume into the main respace, and then add in a track spacer, and then sidechain it in. And then remove the high and the low end and reduce that ratio. I'm going to copy this over and then do the same for the vocal. I don't want that to be lost. And now I'm going to do some parallel compression on the drums. So that's going to involve me sending this in the volume to the parallel compression, and then I can mute that now. First, I'm going to add on a Pro C2. And I'm just going to, for the sake of things, slap on a parallel compression preset. Then I'm going to add on a slight decapitator. And then lastly, I'm going to take the transients off. And then I'm going to mix these in. And then just to give it some more transients, I'm going to add in this waves plugin called Smack Attack. And with that, I'm just going to turn up the attack ever so slightly. And then last thing to do, I'm going to slightly saturate the top, the hi-hats. But yeah, I think for the most part, that is actually the drop done. So then next can do the build up, and then that's pretty much going to be like most of the song done. Alright, so now the only thing really left to do is add in the build up and then maybe fill in the intro with like some effects and stuff. So I'm going to start it off with a classic kick, I think. And probably the best thing to do here in terms of like the actual main element in the build up is going to be introducing those basses early on with a filter. So something like this, and then I'm just going to automate this frequency here. Like so, and then probably have it quite low and then build it up.
Love, come set me free. I need your love. Come dance with me. Oh, can't you see? You're my one and only ecstasy.
And yeah, don't forget. And then yeah, I'm going to copy over these automations as well so it doesn't sound weird.
Love, come set me free. I need your love. Come dance with me. Oh, can't you see? You're my one and only ecstasy.
Oh, and then I'm going to add in this hat builder as well from the pack.
Love, come set me free. I need your love.
I'm going to continue the pluck and the pads maybe as well, but I'm not too sure. Maybe I'll take them out.
You're my one and only ecstasy. I need your love. Come set me free. I need your love. Come dance with me. Oh, can't you see?
And then I think that's pretty much it for the build-up. I don't think it has to be too complex. The only other thing I'm going to add is some effects. I'm going to start off with one like here.
I need your love. I need your love. Come set me free.
I'm going to add one on the drop as well. It's a bit more gentle. Right, now that we've got the exhaust, I'm going to add in an impact as well. I'm thinking maybe right here on this 8th bar.
Wanna lose control, wanna feel.
Turn these up a little bit.
Wanna lose control, wanna feel it all. Never felt like this before. Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Say you won't let go.
Maybe a little whoosh here, that would be cool. Sort of like this.
I need your love, come set me free.
Yep, and then I think the last thing would be some risers.
I need your love, come set me free. I need your love, come dance with me. Oh, can't you see? You're my one and only ecstasy.
And then maybe, yeah, we use that as the pre-drop chant, actually.
I need your love.
Right, and then I guess the last thing to do is just copy it over like so. There we go. And then I'm going to just get rid of this. And yeah, there you have it. That is how to make a tune like KANINE. I'm going to play the song at the end. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. I've had a lot of fun making it. As I said, KANINE is absolutely one of my favorite producers out there. And I just love his music. So if you're interested in one-to-one tuition, sample packs, or mixing and mastering, go head over to the website for more info. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Some say that love is soft, that true love will break your heart. I'm not afraid, even if I fall. I need you now. Wanna lose control, wanna feel it all. Never felt like this before. Want your skin and bones, wanna feel you close. Say you won't let go. I need your love, come set me free. I need your love.